reserves those two tracks. And that works like any other card-driven game. As a U.S. player, you can play like a one-up card and move that thing up to the one, like up to there, and then you would have that in reserves. Then you could play like a two-op card and use this one and turn it into a three-op card.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how that works. And then over to the right of that, you have an event box. Those are events that are in play. You have a little marker that goes there to remind us what events are in play. And then you have the available plots box. And those are the plots that I can use to mess with you. And the way that that works is they're flipped over right now. And then when I use them, they get turned over like that. I can go here, and then I can unmask them, and then that's a one plot. There are 3 1s, 2 2s, and 1 3. And those numbers matter, but I won't go into it right now. You'll see in a minute how that works. But if I do a terrorist plot, I'm going to be taking one of these terror plots, and I'm going to put one here in Pakistan. I'm going to put it in Pakistan, and you're not going to know what it is. It could be a 1, 2, or 3. So I could have plots all over the place, and you got to make your best guess. The 3s hurt you worse than the 1s do. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, so does that have any relation to the plots at the bottom left-hand corner of the board?
It will in a second. Yeah, that box that says first plot.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get into that in a minute, what that means. That's my mechanism for getting rid of one of your cards. You have a mechanism for getting rid of one of my cards, too. This game works like kind of like Twilight Struggle. There's 3 different types of cards. There is jihadist cards, and they'll have a little green box over the ops number. There are U.S. cards. Will have a little tan box over your ops number. And then there'll be unassociated events, neutral ones that have a gray box. And those are either one of us. You can use them for either or. Your events, you either play the events or you play the ops. Neutrals, you either play the ops or you play the event. And enemy ones, so for you, jihadist, you only get the ops, and the event must happen. If it can. A lot of the events have prerequisites. Okay? I need to change my side. I need to join as the jihadists. Okay. So, I see you drew some cards. You kind of see how they look and stuff.
Yeah, I was just following along with what you were saying.
Okay. So let's go ahead and work our way down to I'm going to go over the bottom left-hand corner now. There are a couple different tracks here that really matter for you. The bottom one is the U.S. Prestige. And you'll notice you're starting at 7. And that gives you a die roll modifier. So this little green, yes, right down there, you have a little green Muslim sign and a little white one. Those remind you that gives you a +1 die roll modifier on the War of Ideas. And I'll go over that in a minute. But for so basically, the higher the better for you. The lower, the worse it is for you. But above that is it's your U.S. Global War on Terror relations. How you and the rest of the world, how your relations are on terror. It starts the game off right here with have a 1 on the hard side, and the U.S. is hard. Now, during the game, this can flip, and you can go soft. It would be moved over to the soft side. Okay, that's one thing that can happen. This thing is also going to move up and down. The world's going to be hard on terror, or if it gets over to here, the world goes soft on terror. Whenever the world is opposite of you, it's never good. Because what happens here, let's say it's in this position right here, you would get a +1 on War of Ideas because of your prestige being on 7. You would get a -1 because the world is soft and you're hard. If it shifted to here, it would be a -2 and a +1, so a net of -1. And if it got all the way to here and you were still at 7, it would be a -2. But let's say you were down here at 3. That's a -1 at low. And it's a -3 because the world's would be a -4. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. I'll reset those. And I'll explain to you how that all works. And the reason why you're at 1 right now, take a look at Israel. And Israel has a little posture. It says hard. Right now, that's the only country that has any posture. And it's hard. So what we do is we subtract the hards from the soft, or vice versa, and we find the difference, and that's where the GWAT relations goes. So right now, there's one more hard than there are soft, so it's a +1 to the hard side. That is going to change during the game. Anytime that we go to one of these countries that has a posture box, that means it has that single box, like the United Kingdom or all of the European countries. They don't have the 3 ally, neutral, adversary box. They just have a posture box. Anytime that we do, the first time we do something there, we'll see if they're hard or soft. 1 through 4, they're soft. 5 and 6, they're hard. So there's a better chance for them to go soft. So that's something that you're going to be fighting against all game long, trying to keep the world on your side. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. We're basically down to the countries, the Muslim countries. And those are all those light green countries that have 3 boxes. They have allied, neutral, and adversary. The way this game works is it's all about these numbers and these tokens that are on the actual countries. And the way that you move is you right-click on them. And then you'll see shift to Islamist rule, shift to neutral, shift alignment to adversary, improve governance, or worsen governance. Okay, there's 2 different ways. Governance is the number. So I'm gonna go to Saudi Arabia. Right now, Saudi Arabia is a neutral. Is an ally to you. Ally, neutral, and adversary always is how it relates to the U.S. So Saudi Arabia is a poor governance, but it is neutral to you. Alignment is neutral. Governance is poor. Now, as you try to get it better by doing War of Ideas, you'll improve it up to a 2. Then you'll improve it up to a 1. And then it's a good ally, best it can get. And you'll receive victory points for that. I receive victory points when I get them to Islamist rule. As you can see, Afghanistan is right now. I start with Afghanistan as an Islamist ruled country. And I get its victory points. Its victory points in the top left corner is that little brown number. So Afghanistan has a 1. I have 1 victory point right now. So you can see it, and they go from 1 to 3 as far as victory points go, and those are only in the Muslim countries. There's no victory points in those blue countries. Any questions?
Nope. All looking pretty good.
Okay, and then you'll also notice, like on Iraq and Saudi Arabia, there's a little oil well there. And what that means is there is a card that will be played during the game. It's an oil spike. And all those countries, if you are in control of those countries, in other words, if you get Saudi Arabia to a good governance and you get us 3 victory points, when that oil spike card is played, they're all worth an additional 1 point, which makes it different. It can make an auto victory happen. It could push you over the needed victory points to win with that card play. So that's something very important. That card also allows you to redraw one of the cards out of the discard pile and put it back into your hand. So the oil spike, there's 2 of them. The oil spike cards are really important. So that's what that little oil sign means. Now, for you, like I was saying earlier, everything evolves around the number in that box. And what that means is that number is important for you because it takes that number up card to do anything in that country. So for you, what that means is for you to do anything in Saudi Arabia, you must play a 3 card.
And you're talking about the red 3, right? Not the VP3.
Correct. I'm talking about the red 3. Never the victory points. We're always talking about, because it's going to, as you will notice, for you to do something in Pakistan, it only takes a 2-op card because it's fair. If it was to turn to good, it would be a 1-op. So you need a 1, 2, or 3. So it's a lot easier to do things when the governance is good towards you. It's a lot harder to do things for you when they're poor towards us. Okay?
Got it.
Now, for you to get something to good, this is what you have to do. And I'm going to do it in the Gulf states. Look at the Gulf states right now. The way that you shift that from fair to good is you've got to get it to ally first. I do not go left and right. You're always trying to get everything to ally and then get it up to good. Me, I don't care about left and right. All I got to do is get it to 3, and then if I can get to Islamist rule, it automatically jumps to adversary. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how this works. For you to get the Gulf states to ally, to be an ally, you would need to do a war of ideas. That you would roll the die, 1 die to see if it was successful. If it was, you would shift alignment towards ally. So there it would shift from neutral over to ally. Now you would try to turn it from fair to good. You would need a 2-ops card to do it because it's a 2 or a 3, 2 or 3, and then you would roll on War of Ideas again, looking at all your modifiers, and if it was unsuccessful, nothing would happen. If it was successful, it would turn from a fair to a good, and then you would get those 3 victory points. And also, it makes it harder for me to do things now, because those numbers are the numbers I need on die rolls or less to do things. See, it works completely different than the U.S. You need the op card number to do stuff there. I could play any op card I want, but that's how many dice I'm rolling. And the number I need is that poor, fair, or good number. So for instance, in Saudi Arabia, for me to do something there, if I was to play 2 ops, I would get to roll 2 dice and I would need 3 or less. In the Gulf states, if I was to play a 2 ops card, I would get to roll 2 dice, but I would need 1 or less.